High above the city of Los Angeles, known not just for its bright lights, movie stars, and rock music, but most recently for its unmatched violence, and not just from its underworld population, but also from its police force. Watching from an unobserved eye in the sky, this is your chance to find out what really goes on when those sworn to protect and serve lose control and cross over the thin blue line.
Not exactly sure why it takes so many police on this one suspect. Obviously
Witness when cops attack.
But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 standing around 4 on him, rolling his legs down.
Airborne over the city of angels, see firsthand what is too often meant by keeping the peace.
The cops are pushing him over right on the side, and he's rolling over almost on his mouth. The police obviously have no intention of letting him down or get out of the vehicle. It looks like he's barely grabbed him by now.
This bird's eye view captures on camera what we've only heard about, but aren't supposed to ever see.
The police stop, and it looks like the officer is, he's firing right. Let's take a look at that again. He fired right through the bullet came through the driver's side window. There it is again as the officer is firing even though the vehicle has stopped.
Come along on the ride of your life as you now become the witness to cops out of control and suspects with no place to run.
Trying to look like they're firing on the suspect. The police surrounding him are firing on the suspect right now. You'll see the bullets coming there through the all over the window. And even though he was boxing with no place to go, the police chose to fire on him nonetheless. It looks like the passenger suspect may have been liquidated.
Let our chopper lift you up to the heavens as you find yourself looking down on a living hell.
Cornered and they're beating him and kicking him in the stomach. The suspect is down, covering his head. He doesn't receive any more, but he has 5 police on him. That doesn't seem, the fact that he's laying prone and has surrendered doesn't seem to dissuade the officer in the green jacket there, who continues to pummel him with his flashlight and kick him and knee him and punch him in the back.
This is a trip that you might not believe, may try to forget, and just may want to leave behind.
This one, it looks like the police have brought out their heavy artillery. They're firing over the fence with very heavy artillery. So, I don't see that any shots are being fired from inside the house. The police are extensively shooting into the house from all angles here. You can see the officers surrounding the area, shooting into the house from all angles, but I see no shots being returned from inside the house. It looks like the weaponry that they brought out for this is pretty heavy-duty stuff.
Hold on tight, because you are entering into the dark underside of a city that knows no mercy, no matter how innocent you might be.
The baby Oprah's head, the police had received reports that there was a baby in the house. They kept firing inside anyway. Now the man has come out of the house and surrendered with the baby.
You have been warned.
Police have been in pursuit of this dick for quite some time now, but it looks like up ahead is a dead end. I'm wondering how this is going to end. He chose to, there's a fence, a log fence, and a white picket fence. He's pulling right in, he's crashing right into the fence. He's trying to make an escape, and the cops hit him with the hood of the car. He looks pretty trapped now. The suspect being pulled off the hood of the policeman's car, being told to get down on the ground, but I don't think the suspect can move it because it looks like his leg is caught between the hood of the car and his feet. The officer inside the car being told to move the car back so the suspect can escape. Even though there's no resistance, the policeman is starting to knee him in the groin and beat him about the head and shoulders, and now they're in hot pursuit. It looks to me like the suspect might be trying to escape the obvious beating that these police have in store for him. And he's running down the street, looking for a place to go. It looks like he might be trying to head toward a house, but of course, obvious bystanders, they're trying to stay out of the way. Yeah, running back to...
Could he be heading back to his house, Captain
I
Jack?
think he is to surrender to the other officers that are waiting there for him, but they're waiting they're laying in wait for him right there so they can give him a beating as well. The officers, even though the suspect is down, the officer was just up to the right there is hitting with his flashlight. They're continuing to kick him. He is down. There are 6 officers on top of him, 7 officers, and even though he looks like he has surrendered,
Did you see him offering any resistance, Captain Dave?
none whatsoever, Owen. It looked to me like he was on the ground, laying prone, and the officer up in the far corner of the screen started kicking him and hitting him with the flashlight. Nonetheless, we're seeing it again. We're seeing him trapped here, right here. And you can see how he's trapped. He cannot go anywhere. He's being told to get out, and he can't move on.
Now, when is the first time of trouble that you see?
It's coming up right around here, whereas you see with no provocation, he is being kneed in the groin, being kneed again, and he's being beaten about the head and shoulders by the police officer. As you can see, he's offered no resistance. He did not try and hit back. All he's doing is trying to run.
And you think that he was heading back to his house here? Is that what you were saying?
We have unconfirmed reports that his house is actually on this block, and that more likely than not is his house. And he was probably going back to surrender to or to find the other officers there, because obviously these officers had a grudge because they wanted to give this boy a terrible beating.
Now, could there have been something happening around this corner here, something that he could have done to provoke this type of beating?
Not at all. I don't see any kind of weaponry or any kind of fortress that he could have been trying to go to. Obviously, he's not here, but pay very close attention to this, Owen. You see the two policemen beating him right here. Now, watch this seventh police officer that comes in up the top right-hand corner with the flashlight on. It looks like even though he's laying prone, seeing he kicks, totally unprovoked, Owen, and he'll start beating him with the flashlight, totally unprovoked. The guy's laying down with three officers on top of him, obviously not able to move. But that officer sees fit to continue to pummel him with the flashlight, which I don't see any resistance at all being given here. Continuing to be poked in the back with the flashlight by the bald officer in the green jacket there up at the top.
Now, these are both LAPD as well as Sheriff's Department, looks like. Is that your vantage
Yes,
point?
that's true, On. We have, looks like two LAPD, two Sheriff's Department, and not exactly sure if the green jacket fellows are, but I would say that the bald one with the flashlight would have a lot of experience in why he continues to pummel this guy.
Now, do you think it's fairly obvious that these people did not know they were being observed when they were giving the suspect the beating?
I would think not. My assessment would be that if they knew that they were being observed by us, they probably would have acted a little bit different. But perhaps we are seeing a very candid situation here of perhaps how things are in the street when they are not being observed.
At what point do you think they noticed that there was a helicopter involved?
It almost looks like that bald officer has to get around the other officers to purposely go in and start beating him with the flashlight. There was really, to me, no need for him to get in there. It looked like they had the situation fairly well under control. But he had to dance around two police officers to purposely go in there and get his lips in.
I would think that there's something.
Now, the police have had this house surrounded for some time now. They have their guns drawn, and it looks like they may have broken out the, well, there you see them with the gas masks in case he needs to lock tear gas into the windows. It doesn't seem to me that there might be anybody home at this house. They've been here for a while. No shots or activity of any sort have come from inside the house. Now, that looks like an officer perched at the ready in an adjacent house in the event that activity from the suspect house should arrive.
Now, have you seen the suspect at all?
We have seen nobody from inside the house at all, of any activity of any kind. There you can see a closer shot of the SWAT team officer from the adjacent house moving the curtains to get a clearer shot, an unobstructed view of the house that the police have surrounded the suspect's house. But there does not seem to be any kind of activity from the suspect's house whatsoever. Is the suspect hiding, sleeping, not at home? We just don't know anything yet. We'll continue to observe as the SWAT team begins to move in now.
So have you heard anything? Has there been any noises, any gunfire from the house, any screaming, any sounds whatsoever?
No sounds from inside the house whatsoever. The only sounds that have been in relation to the situation have been the actual police officers themselves. They walk up with the dog there, you can see, guns drawn, looking for some kind of activity, something going on inside the house. It seems very, very quiet in there. It looks like they're trying to gain entry to the house. They're up at the front door, off to the side. All the other officers...
Now, for them to be taking this type of activity, this type of precautions, with this type of argument, you'd think there would have to be somebody there.
Okay, the door is open now. They have opened the front door now, as you can see. They're attempting to gain entry, but being very cautious in the slight possibility that there is somebody home laying in wait for them. They're being very cautious right now, but it just does not look like there's anybody home there. Usually, if you see some kind of activity, people looking out of the curtains, to see what's going on outside or something, but it just does not seem somebody's motioning to the other officers to come in and into the house as well.
Now, it seems rather inappropriate if there's nobody there for them to be coming into this type of forest with guns out.
Yeah, that is true. It seems very odd to me that with their information that obviously led them to this house to lead them to think there was a suspect there. It just does not look very disappointing to the officers. Maybe this mission was something that's gone awry with them. You see another officer there pacing around the house.
Now, you would think there was a degree of danger just being in this area for the neighbors. All of these officers with weapons drawn, and they are actually putting the neighborhood into a bit of a danger zone.
There is a certain amount of peril for the rest of the neighborhood when they undergo an operation like this. Obviously, the person who allowed that officer to get into their house and clearly out their window, that's putting them out a little bit. The dog sniffing around doesn't look like the dog is even finding anything. The dog is more interested in finding a fire hydrant than finding a suspect. And I just do not think that I would be surprised if they came to find this their own house altogether. It just does not look like the kind of thing that they had anticipated that we got going on here.
Now, you wonder what their legal grounds are. If this is not the correct house, or if they're broken into an incorrect house, if they would have to have some type of belief that there's somebody in there.
Yeah, I have no idea what kind of information they had to base this raid on. It seems that it was bad information at the very least. They're bringing out a little parrot hole. You can probably look under the house, look around the corners to not put themselves in danger in case the gas is still on. Obviously, they haven't passed the volunteer gas in yet. Looking at the basement, somebody may be hiding underneath.
I would think that's a very dangerous maneuver, putting your face there. If you believe there's somebody in there, which you obviously believe armed with all the arguments you have.
It's very possible when you put your face down that close to one of those little peepholes that you can find yourself looking down the barrel of the gun. That's just a chance the officers have to take. But it just seems as this goes on, unless there's somebody who's very good at hiding under the house, it just seems like this mission has gone right.
Actually, we've just gotten word this is the wrong house. They're still entering. The word hasn't gotten to the officers yet, but we found out through our sources that this is definitely the wrong house.
Well, the officers are going to have to pay for that garage door. It looks like they have broken and entered into a garage door with nobody there and certainly the wrong house. The red convertible Volkswagen Cabriolet has come to a complete stop now, as if he is planning on surrendering. The police moving in on the passenger side of the vehicle. You can see an officer with guns drawn right there.
Gunfire from our angle.
I see the glass shooting out of the side of the driver's side window. It looks like he has fired upon the suspect, and he's reloading and preparing to fire again. Let's take another look at that. You can see the window, the smoke, and the driver's side window shattering as the police officer's bullet shatters through the car, even though the car was stopped. We're receiving reports now that the suspect is believed to have not been armed. We don't know what he could have possibly have done to deserve this type of reaction from the officer. Two officers moving in now. It looks like near as we can see from up here, it looks like the suspect has pretty much been neutralized. We're trying to get in and get a little closer look. You can see the glass down by the car there. That's the glass from the driver's side window that was shot out. And it looks like the back window...
That's what I was going to say, Captain Dave. It looks like the back window's been shot out as well. There must have been multiple shots fired.
We didn't see any shots coming out through the window, the front window of the car, so we can't confirm that, but it does look like there is a bullet hole through the back of the convertible.
Now, Captain Dave, the vehicle obviously has been...
We are over the I-10 freeway here, and looking at the car that has been stopped at the freeway in a taxi cab. The door is open, and the suspect is still inside. No officers moving in at this point.
Now, Captain Dave, have you heard about the number of people in the car? Can you see from your vantage point? Is there one, two?
I don't see any indication of how many there are actually inside the car. I'm led to believe that it's at least one woman and possibly a cab driver as well. So very possible that there are two.
No.
Those look like officers trying to
fairly heavily armed there. There must be some high-caliber weapons in there. The officers look like they have shields with them.
Very heavily armed. Looks like they do have shields. They are anticipating, of course, the worst. But it just doesn't look like there's any activity quite yet. What if we could try and get in maybe a little tighter on the car? We don't want to... There we go. Thank you.
Now, we heard indications that there was a female in there with some type of high-caliber weapon and holding both on the cab driver.
Okay, here's a better shot. This is the cab driver right here, and we're looking for that weapon you mentioned, Owen. We're not seeing any indications that there's a weapon. The cab driver has his hands completely out. He is. We believe that he is being held captive by the suspect, who I believe may be in the back. And we're looking for some kind of indication of that right now.
Now, he looked to be arguing with her. That does not seem to be the smartest thing to do.
Well, his hands were out as if he was trying to either argue or maybe reason with her. Maybe he's trying to coax her into giving up. You definitely see somebody in the back now. My assessment is that there's two people, one in the back and one in the front. The cab driver obviously being held hostage here by the passenger in the back. We see a little bit of movement in the back. We're not exactly sure what's going on. If there's a weapon back there or not.
Now, this has gone on for several hours now.
Oh, gunshots have been fired. Did you see that?
It certainly looked like it.
We're not sure if it came from inside the car or if it has come from outside shooting into the car, but there was definitely a shot fired.
Now, do you think there'll be
another shot fired? It is coming from outside. The police have moved in, and it looks like, as near as I can tell, it's very dark out here, that the police have moved in and shot the suspect inside. It looks like they're firing into the back, so obviously the...
Now, I am surprised that the people held captive have not fled the vehicle yet.
That seems very odd to me as well, Owen. And chances are maybe he just might be in shock or something and unable to move. But there you see the officer moving into the point-blank range, firing another shot into the car.
This is something they can probably only do at night with the cover of darkness to get that close to the vehicle to take out the suspect.
That's also very dangerous. There is the captain running away right there. It looks like a woman.
So the cab driver is either injured or possibly has fled.
Been in pursuit of the vehicle for quite some time. Looks like this is a fishtail attempt right here, and the officer in the police car has fishtailed the car, rolling over on his side, almost rolling over on the top of the car. But the driver has been boxed in now, has virtually no place to go. Still, the police car's ramming into. You can see something sticking out the side of the window there, down at the very bottom. It looks like maybe the suspect's arm. He's obviously being held in a prone position there, but the police continued to ram the car.
Now, it seems that they have no regard for injuries that might be suffered by other people in the vehicle.
It would seem not, Owen. It seems like they, at any cost, are trying to get the suspect out of the car.
Now, is there any indication that they knew that there was only one individual in there?
I do not have any indication that they knew at all. This being a fairly large vehicle, there could be some more people in the back. I can see the windows being fairly tinted fairly dark, so you just never can tell sometimes with windows that are tinted that dark how many people are actually in the car. So they're probably expecting maybe more than are in there, but there he's handing out, there is the arm of the suspect.
Now, the suspect must be injured. They look like they're pulling on him fairly hard.
Yes, he's having a little hard, having kind of a hard time getting out of the vehicle there. He's down on the ground with his arms out. He's surrendering, lying in the prone position.
Now, it looks like there must not be anybody else in the vehicle. They're saying no attention to the vehicle, just the suspect.
Well, it looks like this may have been a stolen car. We're outside the house now where police have been surrounding for quite some time. And they're looking for a suspect at home. As you can see, they're behind their shield with the heavy firepower drawn, ready to go. Fairly nice house.
Now, it looks like there's a car that's run into the vehicle. It's a police vehicle.
It's a police vehicle that has crashed right through the garage door section of this house. And as you can see, some of the awning or something has crashed back down onto the vehicle.
Now, might that have been a maneuver for the police to gain access to the house? Or this has been more an accident?
Well, it could have been both. My assessment might be that it was a way to take the suspect inside the tension away or divert their attention so the police can move into position in another side of the house.
Now, this looks like it may be a police ambulance out here as well. Would that give you an indication there has been injury?
There maybe had been some injuries. We're checking on that right now, waiting for confirmation. But they're prepared basically for anything. As you can see, the gun's still drawn, waiting to see some kind of activity inside the house.
Now, this is the Simi Valley Police Department. Do you think they are as acquainted as LAPD with this type of situation?
It's really hard to tell. It seems like they've been given the proper firepower to handle a situation like this. Whether they are sharp enough to handle things like this on a day-to-day basis, of course, LAPD handle things like this virtually every day. Oh, there are shots being fired inside the house now, and the officers are running away.
Now, have you heard any shots coming from the house?
I cannot confirm any activity from inside the house whatsoever. We see no shots being fired from inside. We see nothing. Obviously, if shots are being fired from inside, the trees are going to be, wiggling, or the fence is going to be smoking.
You know, it looks like the officers are reloading here. Is that your indication? It looks like they handed a canister off from one officer to the other.
They probably are getting ready to gas the place with tear gas. But I don't even know if anybody is home at this point. It doesn't seem that if there's any kind of activity inside whatsoever.
Now, from some of our other vantage points, we see quite a number of the windows shot out. Obviously been going on for a while. A lot of firepower going into the house. You see nothing of a suspect or nothing of any firepower coming out.
From where we're at, Owen, we have seen nothing coming from the inside out. We've only seen the officers virtually shooting out windows, shooting over the fence. Looks like they're about ready to fire again here. There's more firing going on. I'm wondering what the officers are basing their decision to fire inside the house.
You know, that was quite the blast coming out of that gun. Was that a tear gas cannon? No.
I'm not exactly sure from up here. It's very hard to tell. I don't believe it was. But it looks to me like they seem to believe that somebody still is in the house. They're continuing firing in.
I think that was tear gas.
That was tear gas?
Quite a big blast from that gun. It must have been tear gas.
Well, that would explain the gas mask. They're obviously ready to go in with their maneuver once the gas is permeated the interior of the house there.
Now, from our vantage point, you can see the officers moving. They're firing again.
They're firing again. Look, they're firing again.
Now, is there any indication that these officers can be seen from inside the house? Obviously, our vantage point, we can see them.
Well, unless the suspect inside is watching this live broadcast right now, I doubt that they're probably have any idea. You can see there's something rolling on the sidewalk there. It looks like a discarded tear gas canister. There's several tear gas canisters right there. It looks like that's in fact what they are doing, is they're gassing the place, trying to get the suspect from the inside out. As you can see, discarding another tear gas canister there.
Now, is there any motion in the house? Do you see any motion?
I see nothing. There is nobody running out with the tear gas surrendering. There is no kind of activity whatsoever. They have shot out the majority of the windows.
You can't see the large holes through these sliding glass doors here. That must be tear gas canisters. Look at the size of the holes.
The size of the holes, yes, definitely tear gas. Well, there is nobody coming out, and you think with tear gas being what it is, that somebody would have been out long before now. But I just don't think anybody's home. I think this is another situation where windows have been broken, property has been damaged by the police, and no suspect has been turned up. And
now, is there a danger to the neighborhood in this situation, since there is so much gunfire going on here?
Especially with the number of police that we have on the scene here, that is always a danger in a situation like this. The police still seem determined that there is somebody at home that they are waiting for.
Now, there seems to be some motion in the windows. It looks like it's just a curtain blowing. Could they be thinking the curtain is the suspect?
They're firing again, Owen. They obviously believe that something is going on inside, but from up here, I have seen no return fire or anything. The only firing that I've seen going on is coming from the police. They're ready for anything now. They have the shields drawn, the heavy artillery. Looks like he's loading another tear gas canister. And it's not that big of a house. You'd think with as many canisters as we saw laying on the ground there discarded, that the whole house virtually would be full of tear gas.
Now, do you have any knowledge of these shields? How much protection does that afford the officer who's behind it?
These shields are pretty heavy duty. Your average bullet does not get through this type of armor. So it looks like there goes another tear gas canister. Just wondering how much tear gas they're going to feel the need to lob into this house.
Now the tear gas canisters scattered all over the... Oh, they look like they're making a move here.
They're firing over the fence again. Obviously they're shooting at something. There's something in there that they keep shooting at. We have not obtained any reports as to what or who may be in the house. I think it's relatively safe to say that nobody is in the house because that much tear gas, there's no way, short of someone with the gas mask at the ready, there was just no way for anyone to... and another shot being fired over the fence.
Now that definitely wasn't tear gas. That looked like gunfire.
It looked like regular gunfire there. I didn't see a tear gas canister being ejected. As you can see once again, as we take this angle from above the house, the huge holes in the windows that were put there by the tear gas canister being lobbed in. And once again, no activity whatsoever around the house. And police have been pursuing this red sport utility vehicle for quite some time. He's pulling into a parking lot here. And
that does not seem to be the smartest move to pull into a parking lot. You think you have no access out of there.
Yeah, it's a very, you run the risk of, there's an officer with guns drawn right there. It looks like he's pretty much come to a dead end. It's going to be interesting to see what he tries to do. Trying to get away from the officers, backing up, trying to find a way out.
Could he be surrendering here? Or just confused, possibly?
I think he's probably more confused than anything. His heart's probably racing. The adrenaline's probably pumping. He's probably not exactly sure what his next move is going to be right now. He may be trying to ram the officer. It doesn't look like that's the case because all he'd have to do is the officer banging on the window for the suspect to get out of the car. The other officer, as you can see, guns drawn, covering the back of the other officer. The suspect not stopping.
It doesn't look like there's any indication that he's armed.
His both hands, one hand is on the wheel. As you can see, the left hand is on the wheel, the right hand is on the shift. It doesn't look like he's holding a gun or any other type of weapon. He may be trying to use this sport utility vehicle as a weapon, but now looks like he's brought it to a stop. He keeps popping it into reverse. Now he's being rammed by a police vehicle.
Now, why haven't the police tried to just use their vehicle to barricade him in?
It looks like what's happening right now. They're boxing him in right here. It looks like this might be the end for the suspect. He may have to surrender at this point, but he's still attempting to move the vehicle around.
Now, he does not look like he's aimed the vehicle at any individual.
If he had tried to use that sport utility
He looks
vehicle...
to be stopped here.
He looks to be stopped. He wants to
Just pulling forward,
and... Oh, the police are firing on the suspect!
Are they firing?
They're firing. You can see the glass breaking from all... You can see the passenger side window breaking, the windshield breaking there. The passenger has... And the crossfire is amazing here because if you can see that, Owen, you can see officers on virtually every side of this firing in. And the crossfire must be fairly dangerous as well for the other officers.
Now, Captain Dave, it looked like he had nowhere to go. Why would the police have fired at this point?
It looked to me like he was barely trapped and that a peaceful resolve, a peaceful resolution could have been obtained from this situation, but the police chose to fire anyway. In both his hands, once again, his left hand looked to me to be on the wheel, and the right hand looked to be on the gear shift. And it didn't look like he was drawing a weapon or had a weapon of any sort whatsoever.
From your vantage point, were you able to see any type of gun that he may have?
I could see no weapon at all. The police obviously will say that the vehicle itself could have been construed as a weapon, but the crossfire that was going on there was amazing because not only did it prove probably deadly to the suspect, but it could have proven deadly to the other officers who might have been standing on the wrong side of the vehicle with those bullets going through the vehicle.
Are you seeing any motion in the car?
I see no motion through the, I believe that's some kind of a sunroof or moonroof right there. I see nothing going on inside. The officers still approaching fairly cautiously. They may not think that they have the situation completely under control. They're moving it very slowly. You can see the officer there in the middle, waving off to the other officer, breaking out the remainder of the glass in the passenger side window, opening up the door, all the glass falling onto the street now. It looks like the officer has put his gun away, that possibly the suspect has been killed.
Now, could the officers have made a mistake? Could they have thought that some of the gunfire was coming from the vehicle due to the crossfire?
That's always a possibility once the shots start being... police have been called to this establishment here. Reported a suspect up on the second floor upstairs. You can see the SWAT team with weapons drawn, ready for some kind of activity inside. We've seen nothing happen yet. We're still waiting to see what will happen.
Any indication of the number of suspects they're pursuing?
We only have an indication of one suspect, one black male.
Now, this seems like an awful lot of officers, an awful lot of vehicles for one individual. Would you consider this maybe overkill?
Yeah, this could be by chance a bit excessive, but sometimes you would see the bulletproof vest there. The SWAT team officers expecting anything. He's moving into position there with the 3rd, 4th, and 5th behind him. We're on Pacific Coast Highway here.
Now, that door directly ahead from your angle, is that the door where they are looking to enter?
Yes, I believe it is. My indication that the suspect at this point might be upstairs in the house. There's more officers moving into position. You can see the police lines, the barricades being, there's one SWAT team officer trying to gain access to the house. You can see the SWAT team officer moving into position there right by the door, searching his pockets for something. Looks like he may have the key to the building. Probably obtained from the landlord or whatever, but it looks like he's attempting to gain entry into the building right now.
Now, that looks like a wood door. If the suspect is on the other side, that seems to be a very dangerous position for the officer to be in.
That's why you see the SWAT team off to the side there, and he's kicking open the door. It looks like there may be it looks like the door has been barricaded.
I think that definitely gives us the indication there's somebody there.
There's somebody is definitely inside. You can see the barricade. It looks like he's throwing a bicycle in front of the door, a big wood beam. The officer getting a weapon or a mirror. Looks like you can look around the corner to see if there is a suspect around the corner. That's their way of being able to, in a very periscope type way, looking around the angles and down into the holes where there could be potential danger.
Now, I would think it would be difficult for them to try to make it up the stairs there with all of the stuff that was barricading the door.
I got to tell you, SWAT team maneuvers stairs can prove to be the most deadly for SWAT team members because they're just so unpredictable and
looks like they're going in.
They're going in. The person is getting the bicycle out of the way, moving some of the barricaded items out of the way. It looks like they are going in to try and apprehend the suspect here.
Any indication how they determine who's the first one in?
I think they, short of drawing straws, Owen, there's just no way to tell who will be the first one in.
Now, it looks like 2 officers have entered.
The first officer we saw with the keys and the mirror, looks like he's already in. Looks like he's given the high sign to the other officers to go in. See the second officer there, both the third officer, and it's okay to go in. Guns are drawn, they are ready for anything at this point, Owen.
Now, our indication is there is indeed a suspect there.
If there is our report is that there's a black male suspect upstairs in this apartment complex, in this housing complex. And it looks like only one officer so far has actually gone upstairs, possibly to apprehend the suspect.
There's a better view of the location right there.
So you can see kind of an indication of the window being up on the second floor. You may at least believe that he might be up there. That's why that officer is probably turned around, looking out keeping a very close eye on that window there to make sure that nothing.
I think without question they've secured this location.
This location is pretty safe to say it has been secured. And it doesn't look to me like they are completely 100% on guard. It looks like they are a little more relaxed here. Their body posture tells me that it does look like it might be under control. But there's the suspect right there, the black male upstairs. At this point, you have to have a little bit of sympathy for the police because working in a city like Los Angeles where riots and things like this do happen, it makes it a little bit difficult. Sometimes your judgment might be impaired because, you make mistakes, Owen. It's just a fact of life. As we get kind of more of a bird's eye view of what's going on down here with the riot in progress. See, there's a building fire right there. Obviously, it's considered as part of the riots.
So we understand that police are trying to avoid this area. They don't feel comfortable coming in here because the ones who have, including the police department, have been fired upon.
That's true, and they are very outnumbered at this point. point, very much outnumbered, and there's a vehicle on fire right there. You see a male down just kind of waving casually as he pushes the car out into the intersection. And out of the street, it just looks to me like they're staying dangerously close to this car. They're waving, and it's a very cavalier, callous attitude down here right now. Quite frankly, Owen, I'm glad I'm up in this helicopter because it looks like a total mess going on down there.
Now, from your vantage point, can you see any police in this neighborhood?
I see no police whatsoever. I think they're being very careful to stay clear of this as to not escalate the situation. They're on thought maybe at this point, we're just kind of letting it come to a head and it resolve itself, and then they would come in for the cleanup. But if this car is on fire here and explodes, and it could be very ugly here.
Now, have you heard anything about the fire department? We've heard rumors that they've come in and left because they were being fired upon as well.
Yes, the fire department as well as police and paramedics as well. There's a man in a truck that's been stopped at an intersection, and he's being pulled from the truck by the males there. They're pulling this truck driver from the car. It looks like a white male. He's being beaten.
Did you see anything he might have done to provoke you?
I don't see anything that he's done at all. All I see, he's being drugged. He's being kicked and drugged and kicked.
Anybody coming to his rescue? You see anybody
Nobody's coming to his
help?
rescue at all. I see all these other people converging upon him just to beat and kick this guy.
Now, from your altitude, did you see police? Are there any police heading in to help him?
We see no police or paramedics or fire of any type. It looks like this guy just may have been caught. They're throwing bricks on at the windshield there. And this guy just may have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. And he's not moving. Throwing an empty fire hydrant at the guy. The gentleman looks like he is out.
Do you see any motion from him whatsoever?
I see nothing. He is either just sitting there looting his truck right now. It looks like the members of this community are starting to pull stuff from his truck.
It does not look like anybody is coming to his aid.
Nobody is coming to rescue him at this point. Oh, this is a very sad day in LA life. I got to tell you, when this type of thing happens, it's very sad. It's clear to me why the police, why the fire department does not want to come anywhere near this area.
Now, how might this weigh on future actions by the police?
Well, it's going to weigh poorly, quite honestly, Owen. It's not going to bode well for the members of this community or the police. This is a fairly financially strapped community anyway. I see a little bit of movement from the guy. It looks like he may still be. Yeah, he is moving, Owen. It looks like he's not dead. He's just very badly beaten, with nobody coming to his aid. And this is a fairly financially depressed area anyway. This is just not going to help their financial future here. People are going to start avoiding this neighborhood at all costs. It's going to take on a very bad vibe from here on out.
Now, where might this individual be heading to? If he gets up, where might he go?
This looks like some kind of person on a boat. Here comes the Good Samaritans right now to help this guy, kind of clean up the area a little bit. It looks like they're helping him to his feet. He's very badly beaten, as you can see, missing a shoe, trying to get back into the truck to get out of here.
It looks like somebody taking photos of him.
Looks like they're taking photos of him or they're taunting him in some way. There's another 18-wheeler. I wish somebody would stop and pick this poor guy up and get him out of this area because he obviously needs help very much so.
Now, he is
Looks like
back
he's
in his vehicle.
back in the vehicle taking refuge.
Looks like this individual may be aiding him.
It looks like he's picking up some of the guy's belongings and giving them back to him. You can see the 18-wheeler has stopped in front of the truck there.
Now, any indication that this other vehicle may face the same outcome?
In a truck of that size, I'm thinking that he could, if that was the case, now you see a convertible pulling up there.